Hey friends, I'm Leslie.
Hey guys, I'm Marianne.
And I'm Angie. Together, we are the therapists of Eden Therapy Co., and we are inviting you to have a seat at Eden's table.
Coming to you live from Miami, we believe in healing hearts, shining the light, and bridging the gap in mental health. Come sit with us as we learn, laugh, and explore how faith and mental health collide.
Hey guys!
Hello.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Year.
Guys, we have something new at our table on this new year.
Something or someone.
Something and someone.
It's me.
It is you.
Woohoo!
So we wanted to take a moment to introduce Ivanna. She's also part of our team here at Eden Therapy Co. And so Ivanna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm born and raised in Miami.
Woo.
I am a Miami girl, and I love being a part of Eden.
Yay! 305.
So we die.
That's funny, the way that you said that.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that may be a little more darkish, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a little down. A little Debbie down.
We're coming for you.
But everything that goes down must come
up.
So hang in there.
Good phrase.
And we're gonna talk about New Year and this cultural expectation that everything all of a sudden is gonna change.
Yeah. New year, new me, baby.
Yeah.
Is it really New Year, new me though?
Well,
You want to hear the sad truth? It's not.
No.
Sweetie. You woke up on January 1st and you were still you.
that's crazy.
Habits.
Same habits.
Yeah. Same anxiety, same depression, maybe.
Same grief.
Yes. So Leslie, why don't you talk a little bit about the grief of the new year?
Well, I mean, I think this is like my first time coming into the new year with having just experienced loss. Even, I guess, having to make resolutions and stuff like that, it feels so different because I feel like my ability to do things is just so not the same as how it usually is going into the new year. And I think it's just coming into terms with you're still carrying like the same pain that you were experiencing December 31st. And it's still holidays and dates that are passing by that they're not here and you're still feeling it regardless of there being a new year that you've stepped into.
Yeah. I think that's really hard when you realize that the people that you love are no longer with us in this new year. And so there's this cultural expectation of, yay, we're going to start this new year and everything's going to be so different. And then we realize, but wait a second, maybe our Christmas tables look different. Maybe our New Year's celebration look different. And then there's the idea of hope, right? All of this hope, maybe the year before, that things were going to be so radically different. And then, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can
They're
be
not.
really discouraging, actually, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where the hope, like you're saying, is new year, new me, new year, new possibilities, new opportunities, which actually I think is an incredible perspective to have. Because the truth is that, there are new opportunities. You can enter the year with a new perspective.
Yeah.
But it can be discouraging when you feel like things are supposed to change and everything is going to change and nothing feels like it's changing. It feels like it's the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was thinking about hope and how even in the Bible it says that hope deferred makes your heart sick, right? And how sometimes because we go into this new year with all this hope and then like maybe 3 months later, like things haven't really shifted because we think like it's going to be night and day and your brain like is just going to reset. And sometimes that doesn't just happen. And Ivanna, I know that you and your husband, Alex, like you guys have dealt with this idea of having to sustain hope. Right?
Yes.
So,
I mean, I think we have tried to hold hope even past calendar dates, right? And I think, like, for me, I'm a dates person, and it was a challenge for us to get pregnant and have a baby. And so as the times would go by, I would fixate on dates, and I would see how the thing I wanted and the thing that we were working towards wasn't happening. And so there is even grief with that disappointment.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I would start counting. Oh my gosh, so if I'm not pregnant by this year, by this month, then I'm not having a baby this year. And so then it's your whole vision board is like ruined, right? We make these plans. We're so fixated on the change that happens on the outside, like the result, when change is happening on the inside. And so even with pregnancy, like that's something that sometimes it's not visible. It takes a minute. Like you start seeing the pregnancy in a woman after a couple months. And as we held hope, we had to stop fixating on the outside.
Yeah.
We could not focus on the result that we were hoping for, and we had to really work on internal change.
Yeah.
Like
so
keeping
good.
your faith even when you're not getting what you want.
Yeah.
Because the end result isn't going to dictate your happiness. Sometimes we want good things, but in the process, in the wait, keeping your hope, it can't be fixated on the thing.
Yeah.
And for us, like, we really held our hope onto Jesus, and whether we got what we wanted or not.
Yeah.
And I'm happy now that we are pregnant. And so we'll meet our baby boy in a couple months, but even then, like, now we're still in the wait.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a blessing. He is a blessing, but even when you don't get what you want, or you don't get the results, or it doesn't happen in the time that you want, how do you keep your joy? Like, how do you keep your hope? And it really can't be fixated on that the outside.
That's so good.
It's really about, like, change is not linear. Growth is not linear. And most of the time, the growth that we're experiencing when we want these goals, it's not going to be seen by people. And we have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you're saying, like, with pregnancy, what I love is, you're right, there's so much going on internally, but nobody sees the external. And I think that that's one of the points that we're trying to drive home today, is that change takes time, and people may not see it on the exterior. You may not have to document every single step, right? Or this is my quote unquote fitness journey, or this is my quote unquote weight loss journey. Rather, focus on the changes that are taking on internally, because they are the little steps, one step at a time, that lead to the big difference.
For sure. I think we live in a society too where we are so focused on documenting. If people can't see it, then it doesn't mean it's happening.
Yeah.
And healing is sometimes not visible, especially at the beginning. Like, when we have clients come in, I'm like, well, how long have you been living with this situation? And so you want it after 2 sessions for it to be, like, visible. And it's like, healing takes time. And growth takes time. And so it's hard to be, it's easy to be disappointed when we're thinking that things are gonna happen fast.
Yeah.
You know?
We all have these New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna go back to the gym, and then they're back at the gym January through March, and then somewhere around April, it's like, you're no longer a member of the gym.
They've never seen you come in.
No, but I think that makes sense, because I feel like it's such a tradition. Like, you do the grapes, and for every grape, like, it's one resolution, one
my
plan,
God, yes.
right? Like, you make so many plans for the new year. Like, I remember last year we did that, and we wrote things down on, like, this little, what are the things that you, like, light up into the air?
Chinese lanterns?
Those Chinese lanterns, and we wrote things down and we put them in the air. And I wrote so many things down for 2025, and then lifed. Like, I had to become a caretaker for my grandfather, like, through his chemo process, through, like, hospice and things like that. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna save this amount of dollars. I was, like, reflecting over that last week. I was like, oh, I was gonna save this amount of dollars, and I was gonna do this, and I was gonna do that. And then I didn't work for, like, when I added all up, like, a month. Of course I couldn't save that amount of dollars, because, like, there was no income coming in. So many things happened that got in the way of those plans happening, and it kind of had to teach you, like, flexibility and compassion and grace for what life does with your plans, you know?
Yeah, because I think, Leslie, coming off of what you're saying, a lot of times we feel like we can control the outcome, right? I'm going to make this resolution, and I'm going to control, and I'm going to have all this willpower, and I'm going to do all of these things that I'm setting myself out to do. And meanwhile, I just wonder, is it realistic? Is it realistic to write 10,000 things? And what do we do when life gets in the way of all of those resolutions that we want to make, right? Or the changes we want to see in our lives?
I think it's so funny. First of all, I love that tradition, the grapes. Let's never stop doing that. Like, the 12 wishes on the 31st, or however many wishes you make. Let's keep that going. It's like Santa thinking
We want to keep
real.
believing.
But no, I think giving yourself the opportunity to grow and letting that be the goal of the new year, I think, is much more transformative. Like, going in with the year, okay, in what ways am I going to stretch myself? In what areas do I want to lean into of myself? How am I going to continue to walk out becoming the best version of myself in this new year, and taking that as it comes?
And, like, taking inventory of what's in your control, right? Life is gonna life, and you can't always do anything about that. For example, there's also a tradition, and I don't know if this is very Hispanic or not, that you go and get your luggage, and you, like,
Oh my God,
yes.
outside
Oh
when
my
it's-
gosh, I can't
and then
so that you can travel.
but then it's like, okay, what can I do to prepare to get those resolutions met? Like,
Yeah.
my passport is expired. Girl, you're not going nowhere.
Me have a phone.
You're not going
I mean, excuse me, I can always travel to Hialeah if I want
That
to.
is true. Great state.
Puerto Rico is part of the United States, baby.
That's right.
Do you have your real ID? So, but it's okay. I can work towards that goal of what I can control.
Yeah.
But I can't.
And also, though, Ivanna, does taking your luggage around the block really make you
Guarantee.
travel? Like,
Does
is
it
that the
guarantee?
guarantee?
It means whatever you think it means, okay? Take your luggage,
dead,
go
guys.
around the block.
And then there's things like, okay, my savings were blown by my pet having an emergency and having to go to the ER,
that's
and like,
so sad.
and then I can't
Facts.
travel, or something that like
Pet insurance.
Just life's pet insurance is real.
Health insurance.
También lo que está caro.
So just stay flexible
Yeah.
and not doing what you can control, what you can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I respond to the word control because I really believe that we don't have control over anything. I like to use the word influence, that we can influence things in our lives, but the truth is that we don't have control. If we had control, I think our lives would be very different, but we definitely influence what we can do in our lives.
Yeah.
It was making me think, and Marianne, you mentioned this before, the vision board, right? And how everybody, and we do this too, and I don't want to knock it, but we put down all of these pictures of things that we're hoping to accomplish in the next year. And now, this year, we're going to be turning 5, guys. This is so crazy that we've been
Number of
around for
grace.
5 years. But if we look at our vision boards from the last 5 years, which I like to call them dream boards because I like to dream with God. And I think that there's a little bit of a difference than manifesting my future. Like, I want to put this collage together with you and I want to dream. What is the future maybe that you have for us, right? So if I put all of them together, like what I start seeing is that there's themes that we continue to work towards. Like, one of the things that I'm believing for, and I really am believing, and has been consistent in the vision board that I've created for Eden every year, is a new building, and that we are going to get a building one day, or an office one day that is going to be ours, and we're going to own it. Yes. But just because I put it in, when was it, 2021 when we started?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's not going to come to fruition yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, to your point, timelines too, and stewarding. Like, sometimes we put so much pressure on the timeline that we forget to steward what we do have in our hands. And so, like, even for example, like in this Eden space, like we use up every space of this office until we have that building. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do our best to just with what we have.
Yeah.
I think that when you steward well, God also trusts you to have more
Yes.
and to get where you want to go. And so,
Yeah.
being responsible with what you have is also a habit. So when we dream, sometimes we want these big things, but if we got that big thing that we're asking for at the wrong time, we'd probably squander it.
I definitely would not be able to handle the more that God had for me. Like, I'm so grateful that it was, again, going back to that idea of one step at a time, because if it had been given to me all at once, there would be no way that I would have been able to steward everything that we do together as a team.
I like that you mentioned habits. This book that we were talking about earlier, Atomic Habits by James Clear, I think is an incredible book if anybody's looking to read something new in the new year. It has this principle of the 1%. And so it's 1% better every day. And so your 1% every day compounds at the end of the year. It's 37 times better than you were before. So I wonder what would happen in your life if you really dedicated yourself to what is my 1% better today and focusing on that and continue to walk that out day in and day out. Over time, I wonder what would happen.
That's good.
Yeah.
That makes me think there's people who are like, they've never gone to the gym before, and then they're like, yeah, now I'm going to work out 6 days a week. Honey, can we start with you going to the gym one time?
Right.
And
Just walk in.
Start with a gym membership that you attend to a few times.
I also think of like food changes, right?
Yeah.
If we work on an intuitive eating kind of plan, is what's one change that you can make?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to work towards stopping binging, or you
Yeah.
want to work towards eating in
Yeah.
a different way, right? And it starts with one small change at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
sustainable change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it has to be gentle. So creating change that actually lasts, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I think we all think of when we think of doing a resolution or of this new year being different. It's really one step at a time that
Yeah.
we've been talking about. So it has to be slow and it has to be a gentle process where you have compassion for yourself
Yes.
because you will mess up.
And I think we don't talk about the emphasis of nothing that comes fast or just like all at the same time is change that lasts.
No.
Change that is lasting and sustainable and real, like something you can count on. That happens over a long period of time. And sometimes I think we want fast changes and we want things to be different. And then, or when people say, I've changed, I'm different, and it's been like a month. And it's like, you're not. You're just trying something new and you've kept it going for a month or two. Talk to me in a year. Let's see what happens. Give yourself.
Yeah.
There is this quote that says you can't rewrite a story that hasn't been processed yet. And I love that idea because I think to what Ivanna and Marianne have said about therapy, like in therapy, we have to process the roots in order for change to really start taking place.
Yeah. Feel like you have to like dig in and go back and to kind of move forward.
My favorite is like, how long is this going to take? How many sessions do you think that I need? I'm like,
3, 4? 3, 4 is crazy to me.
I don't know.
6, 7.
I can't believe. She had the opportunity and she took it.
No, it was great. It was perfect. I know it.
It is true, though. I think some people really think that you go into therapy and within 3 sessions, you're a different person.
Yes,
and
transformed.
Trust me, we wish that was true.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't we want to offer that? Why wouldn't we want to give people an opportunity to get out of pain quickly?
Yeah.
But you learn so much in the process. So even in the process of grieving, you learn a lot. In the process of getting through trauma, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You start building the muscles and the skills that you need to continue to move forward and make changes that actually last.
I mean, obviously, I love therapy. And the reason why is because it really gives you a space to sit down and explore the roots and really be able to work towards that change. But if you don't stop and process in therapy, it's like you're not giving yourself that chance to grow. And so I love that the relational aspect, even with the therapist, the support that you're building to change within therapy is, I think, what's most powerful about it. And so relationships grow with time. And so even the relationship with yourself grows when you're in therapy and really commit to yourself. And so I mean, I think therapy is a game changer for getting to your goals.
Yeah.
I also love what you're saying, Ivanna, because if we don't have community to support us in our changes, then it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
So even thinking of what sustains change, going back to that, I also, community, having an accountability partner, having a friend that'll say, hey, come work out with me.
Going back to community and how like a therapist is like an accountability partner, or like being able to like sit with yourself and see things for how they truly are. I think even church, right? Like the people that you attend church with, spending time with God, that's also accountability. Like as I've walked into the new year, instead of having all these plans and resolutions, like externally, like things I'm going to do or things I'm going to accomplish or like what the year is going to look like and what's going to come to fruition, like I've had God reveal to me like more convicting, like maybe it's the fruits of the Spirit. Like what are the fruits of the Spirit that are going to be developed in me for internal changes, right? That are going to be developed in me throughout the year, right? Like at the end of the year to say, yeah, I've grown more in love, right? I've grown more in peace. I've grown more in self-control, and that be more of a sustainable thing within me, right? Because that's me, that's my heart, that's what I carry versus, oh no, this year I accomplished this or I did that, right? Everything that I do or everything that the year brings is going to come out of the work done in my heart.
Sure.
I love what you said, Leslie, about the fruit of the Spirit. And it's really funny because every year, like before, God would give me, I felt, a word for the year, right? Whether it be love or light or patience. And it's something that he works on, I feel, during the year to kind of develop inside of me, like you were saying with the heart. But last year I got a doozy. I got Psalm 91, which is a psalm of protection. And I was like, what's happening this year? Happy to say not a lot bad has happened. We're good. But it's interesting how things change and we have these traditions, whether it be a vision board or a word that God gives us or whatever our resolution is.
Just an intention for the new year. What kind of perspective do you want to have in this next year? I think we tend to focus on the things of, what are the things we want to accomplish? What are the things we want to obtain? But we don't talk enough about the internal changes, like the internal growth that I think is sometimes much more important than what you obtain or what you receive or what you accomplish, because that's what helps you sustain whatever you receive, whatever you do.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Because we're in Eden, a lot of times what I think is, how are we tending to the garden of our hearts, right? And if you think of a garden, like what are the things within a garden that you need? You need some beautiful things, and we also need some stuff to make things grow. And so maybe reframing this New Year's as if there are things that are tougher that you're going through, it's just the stuff that's developing you into a better you for the future.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love the concept too of like mature me. And so to Marianne's point, growing from the inside out, we want to get all these things. My immaturity is stopping me from getting there. And so if I work on the internal, it will actually open the doors to all these beautiful things and goals that I have. But it's really our character that helps us get to our goals. And so taking the time to garden our heart, and to your point, there's like weeds that you have to pull out in a garden, and you have to sow, and then you have to wait. So really doing and taking the time and being okay with it happening slowly.
Yeah.
I think as we've all been talking, like Leslie, you've been talking about grieving, and Ivanna, you talked about pregnancy and waiting for your child and having to sustain the hope. And I think in singlehood, I've had to continuously surrender and hope and pray that God does have, and I do believe that God has that person for me, but in those seasons of not putting a timeline to it, because if I had put a timeline to it, I would have already had 3 kids, which now what I look for is a little bit different because I'm a lot older, and still being able to cultivate joy in the wait, right?
Yeah.
Like joy in the time of just, okay, what changes do I have to continue to make internally in order to get ready for the person that God has for me?
Yeah.
I'm also thinking about, in that topic of New Year, same me, I'm thinking of the people that year after year, it's almost as if they feel stuck, that they're repeating the same patterns over, and the years tend to feel the same and nothing is changing. And even just going in, and how discouraging that can be, but 2, what it points at, like a deeper work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Right? And so what are you going to do differently this year to obtain different results out of yourself and out of the year?
Yeah, and our nervous system is wired to go back to safety. And believe it or not, if safety is not going to the gym, we're not going to the gym after trying. And so to your point, like Leslie, that you said, you take that one step of maybe getting the membership, and then maybe going with a friend and seeing what it's like to be in a gym. And then starting to figure out what classes do I like, or do I want to lift, or what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Like that one step at a time. What makes the difference for me is knowing that God is with us every step of the way.
Yeah.
And we don't have to stay stuck in patterns, Marianne, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you, I guess, a question for everybody, I guess, would be, how do we rewire those patterns? Like sometimes when we don't meet our goals, we think it's failure, and then we internalize that failure, and it keeps us stuck. And so for me, I think it was a lot of inner work of changing what I thought about myself.
Yeah.
That if I didn't have a baby, did that mean that I was less of a woman, you know? And so for years, I also had to work on changing my thought patterns that kept me stuck, whether you get what you want or not.
I love that you just said that, because in the topic of singlehood, I've done every online platform. I've done 2 dating coaches. I've done my own personal therapy. There is really nothing that I feel that I haven't done. If somebody knows something else that I need to do, like by all means, let me know. But I really did. I surrendered it. Like,
I just thought of like this, Reishi. Like, actually, you haven't done ashwagandha.
right?
Has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing. However, like there does come a point where you surrender to the process, where you're like, God, yes, you know my heart. You know what I want. You know where the person is there for me.
Yeah.
I give it to you. That's it. Yeah.
I think it's great.
I think breaking out of comparison is a really big way to stay focused on your goals. To your point too, you were stuck because I'm comparing how other people are reaching their goals versus how I want.
It's good.
And it's easy to compare now in the culture that we live in.
Yeah.
Just everybody posting their stuff. But I think it's great. I love having heard this said, nothing kills your contentment more than comparison. So it's going to be really hard to go through the year just ever satisfied. Not even just 1 year, over the years, if you're constantly in comparison or holding your whatever you have against somebody else's.
All right, so let's quick recap. What's something we can do to sustain change and make maybe a resolution, a goal actually stick? What do you guys think? Based on what we've talked about?
The first thing that comes to mind is even like the therapeutic thing that we do for setting goals, like the SMART goals. Like it has to be specific, measurable, and attainable. That's the biggest one. Like it has to be attainable, right? Like you can't I can't commit to running a marathon if I've never run a mile.
Right.
Let's start with running a mile and running it successfully. Being realistic with what works for you.
I think don't set 17,000 goals or resolutions.
Correct.
Pick one or two that you want to do and stick to those two.
Yeah.
Knowing it takes time.
Yeah.
I'd say adjust the lens of your perspective and just focus on long term versus short term.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think just for me, it would be presence. Just presence day in and day out. I keep thinking of that 1% change. Like, what is that for you? You know?
So good. Well, thank you so much for joining us in this new year. We're looking forward to spending a new year with you all.
Yes. Thank you, Ivanna, for joining us.
Thanks for
You guys
sitting
were on my
with
Spotify
us.
Wrapped.
And as always, if you liked our episode,
Comment, subscribe. Oh, sorry.
see you later.
Well, friends, thank you for tuning in, and remember, freedom is possible. Join us next time at Eden's Table, where you can always sit with us.